AITA for not wanting to pass down my enggement ring to my future DIL? My son, Sam, 26, and his longtime girlfriend, now fiancée, Emily, 26, finally decided to get married. They had announced their engagement privately to my husband and me. And after the initial excitement, they said they had something important to talk to me about. Sam wanted my engagement ring to give to Emily. Sam said this would be a great way to keep him from starting his marriage in debt from having to buy a new expensive diamond ring. Emily also added that she has liked the look of my ring a lot and would love for me to pass it down to her. I love my engagement ring. I have worn it every day since my husband proposed to me with it, and to be honest, I still have plenty of years to live that I want to keep wearing it until I am old and gray. Also, my ring is not a family heirloom. My husband chose and bought this ring for me many years ago. So, I told them that I appreciated them wanting my ring. But no, I wanted to keep it. I listed out the reasons above and how I don't want to part with my ring yet for the rest of my still long life. However, when I am old, I would be more than happy to give it to their future children. Well, Sam and Emily weren't happy with my answer, and Sam actually called me selfish and materialistic. He said that diamonds are a scam and asked how I could let him go into debt to buy a new ring. Emily was disappointed and said that she had hoped that my ring could become a family heirloom and it would be a token of accepting her into our family. I have always liked Emily and we got along great. They also said that I could keep my wedding band, so it wasn't like they were leaving me without any rings to wear. AITA? NTA. This is crazy. The cheek they had to even ask. I could understand if they were asking for grandma's ring which you wore after she died or something, but not your own engagement ring. Rings become passed down after death in the family, not whilst people are still married and alive. Even more worrying is their reaction to you saying no. NTA. If your son thinks diamonds are a scam, then he shouldn't worry about getting her an engagement ring at all. Just give her a simple wedding band on the day of the ceremony. It would be different if this were a family heirloom sitting in a jewelry box somewhere, but it's not. The self-entitlement is real here. The fact that they have been together for a while and finally decided to get married tells me that he had time to save for a ring of her own. The audacity to ask for the ring off your hand blows my mind. NTA. And I almost can't even believe this. They're calling you materialistic? They can get married without any diamond ring at all. It's hardly a requirement. Your son is additionally an asshole for asking you this with Emily right there in front of you. That's like a kid who asks his mother, "Can Jimmy spend the night with the friend there?" So mom can't say no. Sam actually called me selfish and materialistic. He said that diamonds are a scam and asked how I could let him go into debt to buy a new ring. I've always marveled at how people can have the audacity to call someone selfish for wanting to keep their own possessions while at the same time demanding that others should hand over their money or property to them. Your son doesn't believe or buy any of that bullshit he's saying. He's just throwing every manipulation at the wall to see what sticks. NTA. Wait till they ask for your house to avoid mortgage debt. NTA. NTA. How generous of them to say you could keep your wedding band. What a pair of entitled children. Your engagement ring has lots of emotional value to you, and you wear it daily. They have no right to it at all. And you shouldn't feel the slightest bit of guilt for kindly declining to offer it. I'm sorry that your son is being so awful to you over this. Wear your ring with joy and pride. And let your son and his fiancée sort their ring issues without your assistance. LMAO, what a scam. Mom, I have a great idea. I don't want to buy my own shit. Give me yours. No? Well, it's shit junk anyways and you suck for owning it. Op. Your son missed his calling as a televangelist. NTA. NTA. How could anyone possibly be so selfishly unaware as to argue that he must have your ring while also arguing that diamonds are a scam? I have never heard of engagement or wedding rings being given to children when the woman is still alive. When I opened this thread, I assumed it was some form of jewelry that was passed along to the daughters in the family, and therefore you wanted to keep that tradition by giving it to your daughter and not your son. I couldn't believe that it was your actual ring that you still wore. What a manipulative vulture. NTA. They are not entitled to the ring off of your finger. Your husband gave that ring to you, and it's important to you. It's time for Sam and Emily to figure out their own preferences, etc. As for diamonds are a scam, if they don't want to buy a diamond engagement ring for her, then don't get her a diamond engagement ring. There are moissanite rings. There are sapphire rings, and any other stone that they would like. If they think that giving away mom's engagement ring is such a great idea, then they can give their future daughter-in-law her ring off of her finger when that time comes. My most treasured items are my grandmother's jewelry that I'd inherited, including her wedding ring. Trying to rip a bridal set off of someone's finger is infuriating to me. I will part with my own bridal set when it's cut off of my cold, dead hand. Hell. My mother had an accident about 30 years ago. A knife went through her hand. The doctor wanted her wedding ring off, but it didn't come off because she'd gained weight, developed arthritis, etc. over the years. When he wanted to cut it off, my mother told him that it was only happening if they cut off her entire finger. So kindly work around it. Wedding sets are sacred. Damn it. NTA. He said that diamonds are a scam and asked how I could let him go into debt to buy a new ring. So he knows diamonds are a scam but he still wants one? Tell him to go buy a ring with cubic zirconias in it then. It's your ring. Don't let him guilt you into handing it over. NTA. Those two have some freaking nerve. Next, are they gonna ask for your house so they don't have to go into debt for a marital home? NTA. These are major red flags from these two. They sound entitled and manipulative. NTA. Good grief. It's your ring. You still wear it. I mean, sheesh. Are they also gonna ask you to move out the house so they can inherit it quicker? But there's an interesting side point. If diamonds are a scam, what's the big deal to Sam anyway? NTA. Family heirloom wedding bands, engagement rings are passed down after the death of the current owner. They usually go grandparent to grandchild. Sometimes great-grandparent to great-grandchild. NTA. What manipulative people. To demand your ring from your finger in one breath and decry diamonds and materialism in the next. The person for whom the ring has high sentimental value is you. Keep it. I'm so sorry about your son and FDIL's grabbiness. NTA. Sorry, your son is both selfish and entitled. But he seems to be very much hinging on the financial aspect of this while his fiancée is playing up the emotional aspect. Perhaps genuinely. IDK. If he doesn't want to go into debt over a ring, then buy a less expensive ring. Problem solved. It's the sentimental value that matters more than anything else anyway. And him asking for your ring just so he doesn't have to buy his own should bother his fiancée more than it bothers you anyway. NTA, and your reasoning is very sound and understandable. Also, the idea your son has to go into debt over a ring is ludicrous. If his so is really expecting the mother of all diamond rings, it's her who's selfish and materialistic. You don't want to keep the ring because it's a fancy ring, you want to keep it because it has tremendous emotional value to you. Additionally, in most cases of rings being passed down, I usually witness it being from grandparents to grandkids, probably for the same exact reasoning you gave. I'm sorry your son was so rude about this. NTA. Who the hell do these people think they are? I've never heard of anyone asking their mother to give up her engagement ring while she's alive and wearing it. Oh, we decided we like it, so it's now an heirloom and you're selfish to want to keep your own ring for yourself. Completely ridiculous. NTA. But I find it strange that you didn't immediately chastise your son for attacking you and his nonsensical logic. If diamonds are a scam, and wanting one is materialistic, then why are Son and Emily trying to get a diamond ring? You really need to have a frank conversation with them about how awful their behavior is. Your son is spoiled and entitled, and he seems to have found his match. Does not bode well for their future together. Tell your son to get a lab-created diamond or a moissanite if he wants a cheaper stone. Better yet, get a sapphire or ruby. They are the next highest hardness on the moth scale under diamonds, and sapphires come in almost every color. My ring is a 1-carat oval sapphire with 2 small diamonds on either side in 14K white gold, and it was $600-ish. I love my ring, and any jeweler worth their salt will do their best to work within a budget. Source. I've worked at 3 jewelry stores for many years.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.